The one and only. Welcome back to the show. We love you. They love you, clearly. We love you, too. Welcome back, and thank you for being here.
Jack in the Box, because my mom loved their tacos.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now. You have kids, and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name, our little family name.
Well, now I know, and I love it.
Oh, and what follows that is she goes, our little family name.
Right.
Yet another dig at the royals that gave her that title.
Did you notice that at the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex?
Yes.
I'm here with the one and only Meghan, everybody. Meghan Sussex.
This past weekend. Congrats, by the way, the Tribeca Festival, by the way. It's going on now. Get tickets at tribecafilm.com. But this is going on for 24 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So picture this. Meghan Markle thought she could win over Hollywood royalty with a fancy gift basket. But Robert De Niro wasn't having any of it. What she hoped would be a smooth power move quickly spiraled into a Hollywood punchline. From HRH-branded wine to desperate PR stunts, this story has all the drama you'd expect and more. Trust me, you don't want to miss how this tea spills. So stay tuned till the very end.
Because we appreciate everything you did for our country.
What are you even talking about? Nobody did that.
Mindy says to her, you know, I just don't think that anybody really realizes Meghan Markle ate Jack in the Box. And you watch Meghan tense up, right up, and the micro expressions and the jaw sets and the eyes go black. And her shoulders rise up and she goes, you know, it's so funny. And she's like chopping something. So it's like dangerous. You know, it's so funny you say that. So funny you say that because you know what? I'm Sussex now.
I'm Sussex.
But watching the show, I did feel like I didn't belong there. It kind of feels like you walked into the wrong house. And you're like, oh, how did I get here? And Meghan also like doesn't really want you there, but she doesn't want to be rude or anything. So she's like, stay, we are making crudité platters.
Tablespoon honey, half cup peanut butter, a quarter cup of water, finish it off, filtered of course.
That better not be tap water I see in those homemade dog biscuits.
I was nominated by Rory McIlroy to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and I said yes on 2 conditions. One, that I could remind everyone that this is for ALS awareness. I made a donation today. I hope you do the same at alsaid.org. Second condition.
Woke us all up. We're in the pursuit of joy.
I can't take it anymore. Get out, get out, get out. Uncle, make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her, and it's so hard.
So here's the scoop. Robert De Niro turned 82, and you'd think it would be just another quiet birthday for one of Hollywood's biggest legends. But no, Meghan Markle decided to make it interesting. She sent him this over-the-top luxury HRH-branded gift basket. We're talking overpriced wine, little trinkets, and fancy packaging, all wrapped up like it came straight out of some royal showroom. Sounds glamorous, right? Well, here's the twist. It totally backfired. Instead of giving her brand a boost, De Niro basically dismissed the whole thing like it was yesterday's junk mail. And just like that, the gesture went from classy to cringe.
Let's make a show.
Let's go. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
It's magic.
I'm just learning.
Look at how much honey we have.
Do you believe in magic?
And he picked 3 films. And it was The Godfather, Taxi Driver, and The Deer Hunter. And then we went home and we watched those 3 films, and we watched them all over the weekend. And, you know, it was just, so you were the beginning of my whole love affair with films, really.
Terry Polo's wrote.
Oh, wow.
No! Wow.
Did we read, or was it with Jay?
It was with Jay.
Now picture this, you're Robert De Niro. You've been racking up Oscars, playing some of the most iconic characters in movie history, and you've got decades of respect under your belt. Then, out of nowhere, a basket shows up with a shiny tag screaming HRH. If you're him, you're probably thinking, seriously, at my age, with everything I've done, this is what I get? And honestly, that's pretty much what happened. He didn't gush, he didn't play along, he reportedly brushed it off and made it clear he didn't want to be used in someone else's PR game. And let's be real, I can almost imagine him raising an eyebrow, maybe even chuckling at the absurdity of it all.
Greatest actor you've ever worked with?
Myself.
Here's where it stings for Meghan. She wasn't just sending a birthday present, this was a move, a very calculated one. She wanted that royal branding front and center with the HRH plastered all over it, hoping De Niro would maybe shout her out, maybe post a thank you, maybe even tie her name to his. But Robert De Niro is not an Instagram influencer trying to get free goodies. He's a Hollywood heavyweight. So when he looked at the contents like $90 bottles of wine and overpriced artsy knickknacks, he wasn't impressed. He basically rejected the entire thing outright, sending a message that cut way deeper than a polite no thank you. And that's the problem. Meghan's whole post-royal journey has been about proving she doesn't need the palace. But her actions keep saying the opposite. She claimed independence, she claimed freedom, but the HRH branding is still glued to everything she does. That gift basket wasn't a thoughtful gesture, it was a marketing ploy in disguise. And instead of looking like generosity, it looked like desperation. In a town like Hollywood, where image is everything, that's the kiss of demise.
This is a big deal. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like... Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Was that okay? It was so intense.
Because here's the thing, in Hollywood, your name is currency. Aligning with De Niro should have been a power move, a way to remind people she still had pull, but she played the wrong card. De Niro doesn't entertain royal antics or clout-chasing gifts, and when he turned her down, it didn't stay quiet. The rejection didn't just stay between them, it spread. Whispers flew through Hollywood like wildfire. Suddenly, it wasn't just about a basket, it was about what the basket represented. Meghan Markle trying too hard to buy her way back into circles that were already moving on without her. And trust me, in this industry, once people smell desperation, they run the other way.
I challenge Serena Williams to do the ALS ice bucket as well. Okay, shall we?
Ready?
Yes.
All right.
Got it?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Ready?
Yeah. What? 1, 2, 3.
And that's when the meme machine went into overdrive. What Meghan thought would be a subtle, polished relaunch of her brand turned into an internet-wide punchline. People didn't see elegance, they saw desperation. The basket quickly earned the nickname, a bribe in a basket. And that phrase stuck like glue. Even her own homemade wine, which was supposed to be this centerpiece product, got dragged mercilessly. Social media had a field day roasting the idea that someone who swore up and down she left the royal life behind was still slapping HRH branding onto luxury items, like it was some kind of discount code. Instead of screaming status, it screamed try hard. And when the internet catches that vibe, they don't let it go.
So my favorite moment, and I do think the most telling, it was in the Mindy episode, and it was the moment where Mindy is playing along with Meghan's oft-told, much debunked origin story. Oh, and what follows that is she goes, our little family name.
Right.
Yet another dig at the royals that gave her that title.
Did you notice that at the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex?
Yes.
The truth is, this wasn't just about a basket. It cracked open the bigger picture. It showed a glaring disconnect between how Meghan sees herself and how Hollywood actually sees her. In her mind, she's still a global figure, a woman of influence, the star who left the palace to conquer her own path. But in reality, that shine has been dimming. Spotify cut ties, Netflix reportedly scaled back their deal, and the Oprah circle that once gave her the golden stamp of approval was rumored to be drifting away. Even her own birthday this year barely made a ripple. No grand posts, No flashy celebrations, just a legal representative bothering to acknowledge it. That's a brutal fall from the glittery beginning she once envisioned when she and Harry stepped away from royal duties. So when she sent that basket to Robert De Niro, it wasn't just about wishing him a happy birthday. It was about clawing her way back into the conversation, chasing attention, validation, and a seat at Hollywood's most exclusive table. But the second De Niro rejected it, the illusion shattered. Suddenly, it wasn't just one man turning down a gift, it was symbolic. Because when a figure as respected as De Niro doesn't applaud, when the whispers start turning into chuckles, there's no way to spin it. Meghan was left standing there with nothing but an empty basket and an even emptier narrative.
I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen this sort of before. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity. Because I know other women who are listening to this podcast can totally relate. When I have my girlfriends over and we're cooking, all of us are in full glam. And we're like, it's not about perfection, but then you look at what we've made and it's literally perfect. In fact, just when I make a cake, it looks just like that with my girlfriends.
De Niro's rejection wasn't just personal, it was a spotlight moment that exposed the blueprint Meghan had been running for years. Her brand has never really been built on deep substance. It's been carefully stitched together with prestige, proximity, and relentless press manipulation. It was all about optics, looking like she belonged in certain circles, sounding like she had influence, and leaning on connections that validated her presence. For a while, that formula worked, but let's be honest, she had Oprah, she had Netflix, she had Spotify, and she had those royal titles that even after being asked not to use them, she continued to sprinkle them around like glitter.
We appreciate everything you did for our country.
What are you even talking about? Nobody did that.
But every misfire chipped away at the illusion. The HRH basket fiasco wasn't just one clumsy misstep. It was a pattern finally catching up to her. Insiders say she's been sending out similar baskets to all kinds of Hollywood power players. Producers, top actors, media executives. The reactions? Brutal. Some sent them right back. Others quietly shoved them off onto assistants. And a few just ghosted her completely. The pattern is clear. No one's buying it, literally. These weren't heartfelt thank yous. They were thinly veiled power plays. Strategic feelers dressed up in a ribbon. Meghan wasn't networking, she was cold calling in the most obvious way. And in Hollywood, where everyone's seen it all, that comes off as amateur at best, desperate at worst.
I used to know. Come on, act like you should wear the treetops.
Did you see that? She goes to cry.
And here's where it gets cold. This isn't the royal bubble anymore. In that world, status is inherited. Mistakes get tucked away under royal protocol, and PR disasters get quietly smoothed over. But Los Angeles, it's a shark tank. Image is everything. The moment people stop taking you seriously and start laughing instead, the game is over. Meghan thought she could play by the palace rules in Hollywood, but Hollywood doesn't hand out second chances so easily. And now with each misstep, she's giving people even more reasons to laugh. And once that laughter sticks, it's almost impossible to shake.
I used to know. Come on, act like you should wear the treetops.
Did you see that? She goes to cry.
From the outside looking in, Meghan Markle was still trying to play Duchess. She clung to royal-style branding, acted like celebrities were her courtiers, and carried herself as if influence could be bought in glossy packaging. But here's the thing. What she didn't realize was that the rules had changed. Hollywood isn't a palace, and the crown doesn't work here.
Perfect. In fact, just when I make a cake, it looks just like that with my girlfriends. I look perfect, they look perfect, the cake looks perfect, but we say it's not about perfection. Really? Because I feel like it maybe is precisely about perfection. Skipping through with honey and bees, who are you trying to be?
When Harry and Meghan first stepped into Hollywood, the buzz was unreal. Everyone wanted to know, what's next? A groundbreaking podcast? A Netflix empire? A wave of activism that would shake up the system? She had all the big deals lined up. The cameras followed her every move, and the headlines spinning like a merry-go-round. For a hot second, it looked like she was about to rewrite the Hollywood playbook. But then came reality, and reality was not kind. The podcast didn't stick. Spotify bluntly said her show wasn't sustainable. Netflix, which once promised her an empire, whittled down into scattered, underwhelming projects. She teased children's content, cooking shows, lifestyle projects, yet none of them made the splash she expected. It was all hype, no substance, smoke with no fire.
I watched every episode of the Meghan Markle Netflix show, so you don't have to. So I had no prior opinion on Meghan one way or another, but watching the show, I did feel like I didn't belong there. It kind of feels like you walked into the wrong house. And you're like, oh, how did I get here? And Meghan also doesn't really want you there, but she doesn't want to be rude or anything. So she's like, stay, we are making crudité platters.
Tablespoon honey, half cup peanut butter, a quarter cup of water, finish it off, filter it, of course.
That better not be tap water I see in those homemade dog biscuits. Only the best for my animal that licks butts.
Sugar snap peas, and some sweet basil.
Oh, hell no. I'm not a kid sitting through a Sussex party and then leaving with peas and basil that you have to grow yourself. No. You better be putting Butterfinger BBs in that bag, girl. Meghan shows us what to do if you are in abundance of citrus like she is. If you are up to your ears in blood oranges, like we all are, you can dehydrate them and give them as gifts.
Peanut butter pretzels.
She's out here moving pretzels from one bag to another.
And that's when her carefully crafted strategy really began to unravel. Instead of pivoting with something solid, she leaned harder into the illusion. She doubled down on the HRH branding, as if a royal tag could still carry her. She polished up the packaging, tried to make her products look like must-have luxury, and started sending out lavish baskets to big names, hoping somebody, anybody would bite. But no one did. Because once the content and the message stop delivering, the glossy packaging starts to look exactly like what it is, a distraction.
She compensates her lack of substance by trying to be fun and quirky.
When she likes something she's eating, she starts to sway a little bit.
She's full of corny one-liners.
A latte love.
No, and that t-shirt, the best ships are friendship.
She's just so cringy and awkward.
Robert De Niro saw right through it. For him, this wasn't a thoughtful personal birthday gesture. This was a clumsy shortcut, a thinly veiled attempt to link her name with his legendary status. And to someone like him, that wasn't just unappealing, it was insulting. He didn't need Meghan's wine. He didn't care for her royal baggage. And the last thing he wanted was to be dragged into a PR stunt dressed up as a gift. For a blunt, no-nonsense figure like De Niro, this was an immediate no. But what really twisted the knife was how public the humiliation became. The rejection didn't just happen quietly behind closed doors, it leaked. The details spread. The tone was talked about. And it became clear this wasn't just a polite brush-off. It was sharp. It was dismissive. It was the kind of rejection that made people smirk. And in Hollywood, once people start smirking at you, the damage is done. Smirks are fatal here because they turn you from relevant to ridiculous. Suddenly, Meghan wasn't just seen as out of touch, she was seen as desperate. And desperation has a scent that spreads fast.
Okay, we have a big surprise in store for girls who have been following the TIG and everything else for so long. They don't know I'm coming.
Oh my gosh. We knew. These are tiny. Are these from these earthy lilies? Oh, sweet.
Celebrities began to separate themselves immediately. No Instagram posts defending her, no influencers trying to spin it in her favor. Not even a casual thanks, but not for me. Just pure heavy silence. And in this business, silence is louder than any statement, because nobody wants to be tied to someone who looks like they're trying too hard. The fear of association makes people back off quick. Meghan became radioactive, not because of one basket, but because the basket symbolized a bigger pattern: the overreach, the empty flexing, the misfires piling up one after another. And here's where it hit the hardest. This rejection couldn't be buried. This wasn't just about a luxury basket. It was a message sent loud and clear. We see what you're trying to do and it's not working. The silence that followed wasn't just awkward, it was chilling. No A-lister came forward. No friendly statement popped up to cushion the blow. No public figure tried to soften the humiliation. Meghan Markle, who once sat across from Oprah and posed for the cover of Time, was now met with the coldest response Hollywood can deliver: indifference. And in a world where attention is currency, indifference is the harshest cut of all. In Hollywood, silence is deadly. When people stop talking about you, that's when the real damage sets in. And for Meghan Markle, the fallout wasn't just that Robert De Niro declined her lavish basket. It was how quickly the story caught fire behind closed doors. What was meant to impress turned into a running joke. Assistants whispered and laughed about the HRH wine. Executives rolled their eyes at the luxury jam jars and the handwritten note that carried the same flair of someone who still clearly saw herself as royalty. Suddenly, people who once might have been flattered by her attention now viewed it as a red flag waving in the wind. At this point, it wasn't even about branding anymore. It was about credibility. And Meghan's credibility was cracking under its own weight. Her team tried to play it cool, offering no rebuttals, no clarification, just silence. But in Hollywood, silence speaks louder than press releases. And what people saw was a woman who had once demanded independence, now seemingly trying to buy her way back into circles that had already moved on. That didn't read as confidence, it looked like panic. And in an industry that feeds on perception, panic is the last thing you want people to smell on you. Here's the irony though, Meghan could have built something real. She had the spotlight. She had the sympathy of millions. She had a story people wanted to root for. She could have carved out her own lane, entirely separate from the crown. But instead of moving forward, she kept rewrapping the same royal image, sticking a new bow on it every time. Her "With Love Meghan" branding was supposed to sound classy and personal, but to many it came across as shallow and out of touch. What was meant to inspire ended up being punchline material. Critics said it lacked depth. Viewers didn't connect. And the whole vibe felt like it was polished to perfection but hollow at the core. And then came the money question. Why pour hundreds, even thousands into vanity gifts when the headlines were already swirling about financial strain? The Spotify fallout wasn't just embarrassing, it was public. Netflix had reportedly scaled back on their promises. Harry's memoir, which once seemed like their ace, started to look more like their last card to play. Against that backdrop, Meghan's expensive baskets weren't just tacky, they were tone deaf. In a world where audiences are sharper and more cynical than ever, throwing money at branding without substance doesn't scream success, it screams insecurity. Robert De Niro's role in this? He became the unofficial voice of what so many in Hollywood were already whispering. Not because he wrote a scathing post or gave a press conference, he didn't need to. He made his statement in the simplest way possible. He said no. Not politely, not vaguely, but flat out no. That rejection, as quiet as it was, carried more weight than any tabloid headline ever could. It exposed Meghan's branding strategy for what it really was: smoke and mirrors. And then the domino effect began. Projects slowed. Former allies pulled back. Some A-listers reportedly made sure not to be photographed with her, as if her name had suddenly become a liability. Even those who once defended her, who once championed her story, decided it was safer to go quiet. Because in Hollywood, association is everything. And when someone starts looking desperate, being aligned with them isn't bold, it's risky. The harsh truth was now undeniable. Meghan's royal connection had been the engine driving her brand. But that engine wasn't just sputtering anymore, it was running on fumes. And the harder she tried to revive it with baskets, branding, or borrowed prestige, the more obvious it became that she was drifting further away from the power she once held. This wasn't the story of a woman being unfairly pushed out. This was the story of someone overplaying her hand in a room full of people who had already folded. Robert De Niro didn't just turn down a gift, he delivered a reality check. A blunt reminder that no amount of wine, ribbons, or handwritten HRH tags could buy her way back in.
Jack in the Box because my mom loved their tacos.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now. You have kids, and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name, our little family name.
Well, now I know, and I love it.
And now Meghan found herself standing on the edge of an industry that no longer saw her as an asset, but as a cautionary tale. Hollywood doesn't forget quickly, and in this case the lesson was loud and clear. Relevance can't be packaged, and respect can't be bought. And there you have it, Meghan's gift basket blunder turned into a Hollywood wake-up call. But what do you think? Was this just a harmless gesture gone wrong? Or was it a desperate attempt to cling to influence she no longer has? And do you believe Robert De Niro's rejection spoke for the rest of Hollywood? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more piping hot tea.